The idea of a creature larger than a gorilla with an odor like a skunk might seem far-fetched.
From the beginning of his time on Earth, man has always been fascinated by monsters, real or imagined.
The outside world is very judgmental about these things, with many people not believing in them whatsoever.
Cloaked in secrecy, they show up without warning, state their business, then vanish as quickly as they appear.
They only land in isolated places. They have taken people, I believe. They do have technology.
But the idea is if enough people focus on something, like thousands and thousands of people focus their mind on something and the image, in a very strange way, they can kind of create a real world version of the fictional entity.
Fact, fantasy, and history have come together to tease the imagination.
That the truth will out, and that no one lie can live forever.
Welcome to SuperNormal. Folks, you're listening to SuperNormal with Sean Forker and Vance Nesbitt, as we are going to provide you with some more, timely podcasts, as opposed to just these major episodic episodes we have planned. Episodic episodes. Is that a thing, Vance?
The end of the world.
No, it's not. And yes, it is a thing.
Oh, God.
How are you?
Is that Lenny in the background?
Shut up, Sean.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have invited him over tonight, but he ended up showing up because he's in quarantine. So,
with you. Good,
yeah,
good guy.
I have him locked in the bathroom, so he keeps opening the bathroom door and yelling out the bathroom door. So
let Lenny out.
No, he's in quarantine. But yes, a little bit more obscure. This is called the Distraction episode because, we want to ease people's thoughts and over the whole COVID-19 scare that seems to be flushing over the entire nation. And you know what? Hey, there's some positive attributes to be taken away from all of this, Sean.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It is what it is.
But one of the
How are
things
you?
wanted to, I'm great. I think we wanted to do this to provide folks with a distraction because you and I, in our day-to-day, I mean, you got Lysol in the face today, but in our day-to-day, we've been affected by this. We've been a little glum, and you and I decided, what the hell, let's talk to each other a little bit, but bring other folks in on the conversation, and that's what we're going to do here. SuperNormal Distraction, Episode 1. Which will go live on the regular SuperNormal feed as soon as you get this edited and popped up. We're just doing it for you guys and really for us. Yeah, we're going to talk about COVID-19 just a little bit, but I think we really want to talk more about some of the cool things we've seen happening in our own communities and some obscure laws that Vance didn't know about as he broke every one of them, and just overall have a good conversation.
Yes, absolutely. And you did bring up a really good point about obscure laws. But, let's go back to a couple of the positive ends of this entire COVID-19 because we're not going to dwell on this much. But even if some of you that are listening want to share some of the points that Sean and myself bring up, I think it might be a really good thing because there is a silver lining to a lot of what's going on. First and foremost, Sean, this is not by any means a death sentence. So if you're really upset by the entire thing, turn it off.
Absolutely.
You have the option of the off button. Use it. Shut it off. And there's a lot of things that you can do about your normal life that are actually a lot of fun. And, even if you go outside and take a walk, the air is not contaminated. It's healthy for you. Go take a walk. Go say hi to your neighbors. Give a wave to people. It's okay to keep social distance, but give a wave to people and be friendly with them and offer any kind of assistance that you may need, especially with the elderly. Because, look, we are clearly informed that the elderly are most at risk because they may be dealing with other health issues on top of that. So even if you offer, hey, if you need something, let me know. I'll go get it for you, however that works out. But that's a positive thing. Yeah. And on top of which, Sean, look, we are going into combat. We're going into full-blown combat, and you alluded earlier, yes, I was sprayed down with Lysol today, unbeknownst to me. Yeah, well, unbeknownst to me, for listeners that may not know, I don't do this full time. Sean and I don't hang out holding hands singing Kumbaya all day.
Such a
but
shame.
yeah, we work, the real people jobs, the blue collar jobs, the white collar jobs, and I was visiting a customer today, and before I even entered the building, I got sprayed down with Lysol, unbeknownst to me. And I'm like, well, a little heads up would have helped, because it certainly stings the eyes when you don't expect it to come in it. And who needs to take a Lysol shower? But if it makes those people feel better, that's okay. It makes them feel better that maybe they're doing their part to prevent this entire spread of a coronavirus. And I have another question, Sean.
Oh gosh.
This is considered as COVID-19. What happened to COVID 1 through 18? Where did those guys go?
I don't even want to ask, because they're going to hit us next Tuesday, I bet. I don't even know. All I can say is just exercise a little etiquette. If you feel the need to sanitize, that's great. Do not whip out an industrial-sized can of Lysol and freaking mace your compatriots or visitors, okay? That's just not good. Somehow I see you getting, maced in the face with this Lysol, and you, screaming, "Damn it, Bob, my eyes," as you're, on the ground.
That's kind of how it was. And of course, I'm spitting this stuff out of my mouth.
Does not taste great. Can we all agree Lysol does not taste good?
No.
And we've all had that experience with somebody who's just missed with Lysol, or you've Lysoled and you walked into that lovely cloud of sterile potpourri, whatever you want to call it, and you get that on your lips and you're like,
right.
Oh, damn.
Well, I like how you use the term mist with Lysol. See, little quotations there, but it's true. Yeah, it's very true, and of course it kind of numbs your tongue out for a few hours. But I think we're all aware of that already. That Lysol does not come in a variety of flavors. Maybe it should. Maybe at this point, this will be the social change that happens because of all of this. Maybe this is part of the silver lining that Lysol come in multiple flavors. Who knows?
Well, maybe the people eating the Tide Pods had it right all along, just the wrong. No, before anybody goes, please don't start eating Tide Pods again. If you need a disclaimer, if I have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this show, you may be a special kind of stupid, and you shouldn't listen to this show.
No,
to begin with.
Don't
do that. Don't Lysol anyone. Don't Lysol yourself. Don't do anything stupid. We just have to be very clear on that. There's common sense rules. You know what the thing that's really pissing me off about all this, and the language is going to be a little bit more adult, folks, I'm sorry, is the hand sanitizer. I hate it, okay? First of all, you're killing everything. Even the good stuff you need to kind of keep yourself in check. You're just eliminating it all. Oh, here you go. Because washing your hands, has just escaped everybody's social compass over the last decade or so. I was brought up, wash your hands before dinner, wash your hands before, you touch yourself, wash your hands. Just keep your hands clean. And Vance, you spent a weekend with me. I'm a fussy SOB to begin with. But just wash your hands. It's soap and water, 20, 25 seconds, make up a song, do a jig, wash the hands, and move on with your life. Just
right.
I told you, I work in retail, right? My day-to-day, I'm a sales manager, assistant GM for a major electronic retailer, right? And we flipped our whole business model upside down overnight to continuously be able to serve customers, keep people in jobs, because the economy is not going to sustain itself, and keep our customers and employees safe. But in doing so, you made a comment as we were talking earlier today, we're creating these sterile fields that shouldn't exist. You were killing everything.
Well, yeah, I brought up the analogy of the scene from The Predator when he takes the minigun and he's just mowing down the entire jungle trying to hit a target that you can't see. And we're doing the same thing right now with all our sanitary wipes and our Lysol spray and Purell. We are wiping out everything. Now, it's a double-edged sword. I give you that. You're looking to wipe out this virus that does not have a vaccine yet. Although I'm hearing today there are in clinical trials, and I don't think it's going to take very long before a vaccine comes out. But we are wiping out everything. We're wiping out every known virus and bacteria on all these surfaces, and we're going to live in the most sterile, surgically ready nation for 6 months, and then all of a sudden one of these things are going to pop up again. Our immune systems are going to drop, and it's going to hit us like a ton of bricks all over again. And I don't want to spin that off to a negative end, but if you continue with what you should have been doing anyway, take a shower regularly, wash your hands regularly, brush your teeth, and by all means, at least have a healthy diet. I mean, look, Twinkies, cupcakes, and everything I see being sold out of these stores is not what's going to create a healthy defense system in your own body. No, just be responsible. Now, look, Sean, you and I had a discussion earlier about Oreo cookies. I have my stash of Oreo cookies, and God forbid those get sold out. But you know what? In the balance of everything, make sure that you eat fruits and vegetables. If you can't eat fruits and vegetables, then have, a vegetable juice or a fruit smoothie that's, at least natural, and try to eat healthy. Drink plenty of fluids and build that immunity system up. You're going to make it through this thing just fine. You may feel a little crappy if you do get it, but we're all going to make this through this okay. Focus on
if you're feeling a little crappy, all that toilet paper people have been hoarding will come in handy.
Well, this is true,
What are
but
the stupidest things people hoard,
right? Let's go back to
ridiculous.
that. Why are we hoarding toilet paper for a respiratory thing? I never figured that out to begin with. And when I first saw all these posts of all this mayhem of toilet paper, I'm like, what is happening? Is there something that I'm missing altogether? Because this is a flu virus. This is respiratory. I didn't put two and two together until later on. And then it's boggling. But you know what? These companies that manufacture toilet paper are really not making this big profit, because what's going to happen is people have so much as a stockpile of it that they won't be buying it for months at a time.
Absolutely.
So everything's going to level out anyway financially with these companies. Yes, they're bringing in a big profit right now, but it's going to settle down, and then nobody's going to buy toilet paper for the next 6 months. Who's going to need it?
So true. Yeah. And let's look at some of the other things. Like I had to go to the grocery store on Monday.
Shut up, Lenny.
Lenny,
just close the bathroom door.
If you can get Lenny under control, I'm going to go through this computer. I'm going to kick his ass. That guy's nuts. Certifiably nuts.
He means well, but
he's a drunk.
He just closed the bathroom door. So
well, good. That guy interrupts me again. I'm taking a ticket to Chicago. Gas is getting cheap. I can just drive.
Right.
The little thing. I went to the store on Monday. I had to get a couple onions for dinner. Yes, onions, of all things I didn't have at the house. And believe it or not, my local grocery store was produce deficient. Like there was very little of anything left. You're talking about your organic, non-organic, not a whole lot of stuff left. Fruits, vegetables, bleh. Like even the bok choy was running low. And
wow.
So I got a couple onions. I just figured, what the hell? I'll go mosey around the store. My wife sends me the obligatory list of things, Oh, by the way, while you were out, I didn't get this. Can you pick these up? Sure, honey.
Right.
Eggs. Found eggs. Not a whole lot of eggs. I picked up 3 dozen, which is good because in my house that'll last like 2 days. And I had enough pancake mix to last through the millennia. And I'm not a hoarder. I keep pancake mix around the house. You can never go wrong with pancakes. Anyhow, I digress. Milk low, bread non-existent, Oreo cookies of all things. Like, damn it, folks! If I'm supposed to self-impose, I need some friggin' Oreos. Okay,
right?
You don't need 14 packs of Oreos, Fat Tammy. Put the damn things back and save some for the rest of us. Like, all I'm asking for is a pack.
No, understandable. I had an experience today since you brought up pancakes. Now I'm in the kick for the pancakes, but today I'm in my vehicle and I'm the first one to a intersection and I just got the red light, so I stopped. And right across the intersection is an IHOP restaurant, International House of Pancakes. the parking lot is empty. Well, in the state of Illinois, all restaurants and food service industries are closed except for drive-through and carry-out only.
Same in Pennsylvania.
Well, IHOP is clearly a restaurant. They don't have carry-out service. So their parking lot is empty, and I see a car pull in, and I'm watching, and 4 Asian people got out, and I just laughed hysterically. I'm like, the irony that is happening right now. And, of course, they walked up to the door, and the door's locked, and I'm just thinking in my head, I can watch the wash of disappointment over all 4 of their faces of, oh, no pancake today. It's like, oh, I felt so bad for the 4 of them. I'm like, first off, we cannot target Asian people for the fact that this is their fault. It's not. It theoretically, for what we understand, yes, it started in China, but people started anything with Asian people maybe carrying this. It was just a matter of circumstance that made it extremely hilarious. And I don't think anybody else around me even noticed what was going on. But there's your irony right there.
There you go. I wonder if they missed their Corona cakes.
They probably so.
All they wanted was some pancakes. The good old-fashioned American experience, the pancakes, and they can't get them. And it is depressing. Baker and I, we like to go out once a week. When we're off, we have this. When our schedules line up to go out for breakfast, we can't go to breakfast anywhere tomorrow. I know they want us to practice social distancing, but here's the deal. I work with the guy. We live in the same community. I've worked with him through the whole crisis of this epidemic so far. We haven't given each other anything yet. So, you know me, Vance. I love people. This is difficult for me. I hate being isolated, and it's self-imposed. I'm not sick. I was sick, but it was nothing to do with Corona or COVID-19. It had everything to do with just the flu. I mean, it happened, came through, kicked my ass. I had
a little bit of mental illness. No, I get that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
I survived, but like the social isolation part gets me. But, we have the internet, the World Wide Web. We can Skype, and Pornhub is being given away for free in Italy right now. God bless those fine people there at Pornhub.
I need to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Premium, Vance.
Pornhub, really?
Premium.
Okay. Talk to you later, everyone. No, I'm
goodbye,
just kidding.
Vance. You don't get unemployment for carpal tunnels.
Really?
No.
Wow.
Not if it's self-inflicted. Carpal tunnel. So, anyhow, we digress. But it's going to take time before folks get back to the day-to-day. But I think we have to remember some of the great things we're seeing in our community. Schools being closed, but at least here there's a lot of our local sub shops and pizza shops. This really warmed my heart. That are giving free lunches to kids that are out of school right now.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's pretty amazing.
And this is part of the bright side of all of this. It's nice to focus on what humanity is doing to support each other.
Folks, if you find yourself in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and you're looking for a place to eat, go to Park Pizza, Leo's Pizza, Herb Sub Shop, Melito Sub Shop. These folks, mom and pop businesses, little mom and pop businesses that are, and these are just 4 of a few that are, dipping into their own pockets and providing lunch for kids that would arbitrarily go without a meal for the day. And Vance, through our work, I work with my grandparents, volunteer at a local soup kitchen. On our webpage, SuperNRML.com, you can donate links to. Or you go to the links to donate to Feed America. Like, food and food security is a big deal for me. A lot of folks don't realize I grew up really poor, Vance. And, most of the time it was just my mom working, and food security wasn't something we always had. So we had to learn how to make do sometimes. And there were some times where we depended on the generosity of others, too. Help put food on the table. And it's such an awful feeling. Thank God my kids have never had to know that. And it's not a working hard. There's tons of working families that work really hard that just have a hard time making ends meet. And the fact that these folks, these individuals that own these businesses, took, out of the kindness of their hearts, took from their own selves to give to their community, man, that speaks volumes. And it's places like that deserve to be in business.
Why, absolutely.
Forever.
Absolutely. Look, this COVID-19 virus is spreading amongst everything, but I think the more positive end of what's spreading over everything is the humanity that I see in the story that you just shared. That in itself is by far superior than an invisible virus that we can't see. It's how humanity is pulling together. And there are locations throughout Illinois here that are doing the same thing. There's a lot of mom and pop restaurants and even 5-star restaurants that are still keeping their staff on duty.
Amazing.
The chefs are still preparing food, but they're taking the food to give it to those that cannot afford it or have not been able to get to the grocery store, and they are providing the food for them at no cost. That is the most wonderful humanitarian thing, and it warms my heart to see that. It truly warms my heart, and it brings a tear to my eye, and I'm not, big enough to say, hey, no, I don't. I get very emotional to see things like that, and it inspires me to do the same. And I think that part of the contagion of creating that type of motivation in humanity is probably by far more superior than this little virus that is just looking for a host to thrive itself in. And those are the things we really need to focus on currently.
It's just about coming together for community folks, and I can't stress that enough. Think about the seniors that live around you. Really, seniors, Vance, are often overlooked. They're not sometimes considered to be major contributors to society anymore, but and I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but let's be honest. Sometimes they're invisible to people. And I was at the grocery store Monday, and I just saw all these people like zigging and zagging around these elderly folks, and it breaks my. I'm close to my grandparents, and I told you my grandfather's biggest concern wasn't them, but my grandparents serve 4 to 5 days a week at a soup kitchen.
Right.
And they're worried about how those people, because the soup kitchen's closed, how those people are going to get a meal. Again, I said to you many times, I often feel like my childhood growing up and, prepared me for, some of the sufferings we have to go through now, because we don't know. Our resources aren't infinite right now, and we have to plan accordingly. And not to be a doomsdayer, but we just don't know. So it's nice to have back experience to kind of push you forward, to give you that rationalization that you got to think a little differently right now. But for the love of God, think more of just about yourself. And
right.
My grandparents, God love them, they're doing great, they're prepared. But like I said, the biggest concern for my grandfather was, how are these people going to eat? And to me, that's just, a testament to his character. In their late 70s, still thinking about how they serve others is just inspiring to me. And I'm just glad to see that spirit come alive in other people. And it's just so cool. So folks, if you can do something out there, there's rules. Follow the rules established by your state, local government, but that you can work within those rules. Pick up the phone, dial a neighbor, say hi to somebody, be cordial. Just, you don't know what people are going through. Isolation is scary for people that are elderly or just in mental health in general. Be nice to each other. That's all.
No, and we're not limiting this to just one elderly age group by any means. Look, there's people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s that may feel that they can't handle this properly. Everybody needs just to know that there's a hand out there that, hey, we're over here. If you need something, just say so. And I see that is going to be the silver lining out of all of this. And what our listeners need to really understand too, and I've brought this up a few times, right now as you're listening to this show, we are living in a very historical moment.
Absolutely.
This will be documented for years to come as a historical event. So absorb that right now. Be part of it right now. Be part of the solution right now. And you'll look back on this years later. Of course, there'll probably be a baby boom of the quarantine babies, but so be it. This is a historical moment, so be part of it and contribute. And you'll always have that to carry just for yourself personally. It's not to brag. It's not bragging rights. It's just be part of it right now. Be part of the solution. And even if you do the littlest thing, it's still part of the solution. It takes thousands in an army in order to become successful. And one individual in an army is not going to win it, but thousands together will win it. So even if you do your part just a little bit, just even by saying hi or checking on somebody that might be elderly or at more risk. And again, I want to stress the fact that this is not a death sentence by any means. It's not. You probably, most likely, the majority of the population is just going to be uncomfortable. If they do contract this virus, they're going to be uncomfortable for a period of time, and then your body builds an immunity to it. Well, there you go. And I wanted to bring up another point too, Sean. If you are running a temperature and it's 99 degrees, you might want to hold back on taking the Tylenol to bring your temperature down, because the human body is actually a very miraculous machine within itself. The reason why your body goes to fever is to make it an unhospitable environment for the virus. And when your temperature goes up, you're actually cooking the thing out of your system. And look, I'm not a doctor, but this is just common sense. If you're at 102 degrees and you can tolerate it, tolerate it. Keep it, because it's going to kill the virus much faster. You're going to get over this much faster. Now, you got to keep close monitor on it. If you're at 103, 104, you need to seek medical professional help, or cool yourself down and do the right thing as to what the guidelines are. But a fever is your way of combating this virus, and it'll cook it out. It makes it unhospitable for the virus to thrive, and it dies. And then you get better much faster. So, if you do run a temperature and you're at 99, 100 degrees, and you're like, oh, I better take some because I have a fever, think about that aspect of it too, because you may be lingering this problem for a longer period of time if you're doing that. Just my point. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to give that information out there to say, no, Vance is a medical professional, and I'm going to assume because it didn't work.
Aren't
no,
you
these
a
are just things.
though?
No, I'm not a proctologist.
That's funny, because I've been told many times that you are an ass, man. Sorry. Bad joke.
No, you would be absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. I am an ass, man.
Oh.
That's true, Vance. You are an ass.
There he is.
Doug.
I thought I told him to stay in.
Yeah, I know. He's busy listening into the conversation. Whatever.
It happens.
Yeah, I know.
We're without our other co-host tonight, although you and I really didn't call him and tell him what
was
going on. Sorry, guys. We just figured, what the hell? We had some free time. Let's talk about this. Just recapping, on the trail of UFOs arrived at my mailbox the other morning. Seth got that out quick. The Mysteries and Monsters event that was supposed to happen this weekend was postponed, and now it's just been canceled.
Right.
Which is sad. And if you need a refund, call the Canton Palace Theater and get your refund. Don't call Seth or Small Town Monsters. Get a hold of the venue. They're taking care of the refunds on that, which is a shame, because I know they put a lot of work into this. On the Trail of UFOs, folks, if you've not seen it, it's starting to stream. I think it's available now on Amazon Video.
Yes, it is.
And
look, it's another great distraction, right?
Absolutely.
If you need to take your mind off of this, watch that entire series. Take your time watching it. Yeah.
In one of the episodes.
Yes. Episode 3?
I think so. I don't remember. I'm like in it for like 3 to 4 minutes, but it was cool. I spent a lot more time with the guys recording, but you know how it is when you're trying to put it all together. Butch, I think, shows up in the last episode. Butch Witkowski, of course, who's going to join us. We're going to sit down and record with him this week for our upcoming episode on terrifying extraterrestrial encounters, the E.T. horror stories, as we're calling it. That's going to be fantastic, man.
Yeah, and I'm going to be underneath the blankets, all curled up in the fetal position while recording that.
And
I'm terrified.
If anybody can talk, it's Butch. I always tell everybody he has a BA and BS. Butch can talk, and if anybody's got the stories, you know, he runs the journal of alien abduction research, and he's a pretty well-read guy on the subject. Has investigated a couple cases himself, some controversial. So it's going to be a fun discussion with Butch. And if he hears this, we haven't forgotten about him. It's just, we're trying to make time with everything going on. It's been hell to book guests. First of all, you got sick, Vance, which was bad. Which was
it was the trifecta.
You just got whacked by 3 diseases at once. I got whacked.
Yeah, right. Got them all out of the way all at one time, apparently. But yeah, and then you got hit too. So,
we weren't sitting on our butts trying not to do content for you guys. We just got hit significantly with illness. And then, of course, like I said, I put out there on our social media, it's hard sometimes to try to nail 4 or 5 people to sit down and do an episode.
Right.
It's difficult. And then you and I are doing it for 2 different shows. So it's not like, we're getting lazy and trying not to get you content. It's just about getting it together and doing it. Yeah. We love you. We do.
I'm
We're
the
not
big
mad.
lazy over here. No,
What'd
not
you
at
say?
all.
You're the what?
I'm not the big lazy over here. No, not at all.
You're not. I think both of us can say, with the considerable amount of stuff that's on our plates, it's not a lazy thing. It's really, it's finding time. So we do apologize for that, but we do got good shows coming. We got the Smurl haunting we're going to look into, my personal favorite story, and I know Vance, we're going to talk about vampires. We got all kinds of shit lined up.
We have a wonderful menu lined up. And you know what? We'll take this and spread this out nice and evenly during the entire COVID-19 thing, so that you have this wonderful distraction. Because you know what? Give it a couple more weeks, folks. Things are going to calm down. You're going to be tired of hearing about all of this. The media will look for something else to talk about. And this will all pass, but it's a great distraction in the meantime. And that's what Sean and I like to focus on when we do these shows. So we're not going to be focusing all on the COVID-19 at all. We want to bring you, all these subjects of alien abductions to creatures to paranormal stories to hauntings, and get back to what it is that really passions us to continue doing these shows. And, these speed bumps come up from time to time, but you know what? Our passion doesn't change. Just because we hit a speed bump doesn't mean our passion changes at all. And we love sharing this stuff with you guys, 100%. Our entire audience.
Bill Lancaster sent me a review copy of Native Bigfoot.
Ooh.
It's good. I'm going to watch it again because the last time I tried to watch it, I kept getting interrupted, but I'm going to watch it again, and hopefully I can get him on an interview for Sasquatch Experience. I'm trying to keep the Bigfoot stuff floated over to Sasquatch Experience and have us focus on everything else here. Sister programming, kind of keep it, separate but equal, and try to make it a unique experience for our listeners. Because you know what? It's so easy when we talk about this stuff to oversaturate it and to, I don't want to kill the product.
No, not at all.
And it could happen.
Not at all. And it makes it a little bit easier for you guys, the listener, to be able to sort. You know what? Today I'm in the mood for Sasquatch, or today I'm in the mood for paranormal. Well, now you have 2 different venues that you can look at instead of having to weed through one specific show to find what it is that you're looking for. So that's kind of why it broke up that way too, so that, hey, if you're up for a mysterious surprise, well, then listen to Super NRML. If you want to get into the whole Sasquatch and what news stories that are popping up, well, then jump over there.
Sasquatch Experience. I've been trying to sit down and record Forker in the morning. And let me tell you, what should seem like a 15-minute segment usually ends up with me deleting things like 130 times. You know me; it's a pain, and I just haven't found the voice for it yet. And
you're a jerk there, Sean.
Shut up, Lenny. Go back to the bathroom.
Tell Lenny he's about ready to subscribe to the Forker dental plan. He doesn't need a...
Well, he might. I don't know. I've been putting up with him for, quite a while now, trying to just even get news segments out. And, but whatever.
Send him back to
He's
Belize.
just, yeah. This is what I get for a show producer is Lenny. So hopefully I should speak a little quieter so he doesn't hear me.
Well, maybe it's...
Yeah, you're a jerk, Doug.
Yeah, I know. And it's Vance. I keep telling him it's Vance, but he doesn't get it. But anyway, sorry that was an interruption.
With him.
Yeah, no. Sorry that was an interruption.
Well, you take the good, you take them bad, you take them all, and there you have...
Hey, the facts of life. Get you. Nice.
Girls.
Well played. I like that. Well played. All right, folks. You know what? Again, COVID-19, not a death sentence. There's a lot of positive things coming out of this. And who knows? You might go to your mailbox in the next couple of weeks and find a check in the mailbox, huh?
Yeah, how about that? I'm cashing that thing, just for the record. I'm not keeping it. I'm not
Cash
usually for bailouts, but you know what? Stimulate me, please. I need...
Yeah, everybody needs it.
We
sure.
Do. Look, I tell you, I work in retail, Vance, and, I make good money in retail, but let me tell you, that money's only going to last so long if people ain't buying. And today, true. I tell you what, we've had some great days the last few days, but today we're finally starting to see the trickle-down effects of the quarantine. Let's just call it what it is, a quarantine, and who knows where we're going to end up. But before we go full circle and repeat back into this, folks, you can find us at SuperNRML.com. Find us on Facebook at SuperNormalCast. Find us on Twitter at SuperNRML. We're everywhere, and we want to connect with you. Find a way to connect with us. SuperNormalCast@gmail.com is our email. We want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. Go rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Apple Podcasts is very important. The more you rate us, the more we stay up in the visibility, and we could really use some great reviews. Since one schmuck decided to give us a bad review and say he didn't like the host, he found him to be sarcastic. Well, there's 4 of us, dumbass. Which one do you find?
Yeah, right.
And we're all sarcastic, so you really got to narrow that down. I'm sure it was me.
Yeah, no, it was me. We'll arm wrestle over it.
All right. Well, we can. You'll probably win. You do have better arms than me there, Skippy.
You do. Yeah. Skippy.
Skippy. All right, folks. Yep. I'm Sean Forker. You can find me. Go to my website. I don't have a website right now, but find me on social media at Sean Forker. SeanForker. I am my name. Everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Facebook may be changing, Vance. I may create a separate page for Facebook only because my wife's starting to get concerned with all these requests I'm getting. And I do have pictures of my family and kids and stuff on there, which... just not because my ego's getting any bigger, just for respect of my friends and family and my
You're a very handsome man, Sean, and why, yes, people like to reach out and touch you.
Well, they can do that, but they try that with any of my family, I'm going to break the damn legs. So,
and I don't blame you, of course.
And Vance, where can folks find you?
People can find me here in Studio One. You can find me at Vance A. Nesbitt on Facebook. And, of course, if you go over to Vance A. Nesbitt on Facebook, you'll probably find the weekly news over there, which Lenny and myself will do the news. I should keep that down so he doesn't hear me doing that. But Lenny and myself will do the news. We'll bring you current events that are going on regarding things that are just either fun or paranormal. Not necessarily COVID-19, but there might be a couple of things that come up with that just to keep you abreast of the situation.
Breast.
But we will keep, the word breast. But we will keep you up to date on, unique news stories that have happened that past week. So make sure you go over there. And, of course, you can go to Instagram to Vance_Nesbitt with 2 T's _NRML.
I know this isn't probably what you were expecting to hear on our typical show. We'll go back to our normal programming here with our next episode with Butch Witkowski, E.T. Horror Stories on SuperNRML. Folks, you're listening to SuperNRML on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Podomatic, Podbean, wherever podcasts are listened to, you can hear us. But more importantly, you can listen to Supernormal on KPNL Radio.
Have a good night, folks. And you know what? Everyone will be okay. Just be smart, stay safe, and everything will be just fine.
And whatever
Good night,
happens,
Sean.
don't name it after me. Good night. Good night, Vance. Thank you for coming along to this week's event. Remember, if by chance you get an odd feeling and something doesn't seem right, don't be alarmed by it. It's just the supernormal.